Howdy, folks. Happy Hump Day to you. That means Wednesday. It's nothing sinister, unless you want it to be. You can make it as sinister or as unsinister as you'd like. Welcome. Say hi so I know you're here. It's the only way I know. I'm blind as a bat inside this streaming app. Hi, Mom. Your mom's always going to be the first person to say hi to you. It's a rule. All right. It's a sad old world, but I'll take it. All its sorrows I'll make my companions, and the moonlight down under the ocean shines like fool's gold. I've seen calamities track some faces. I've walked in the loneliest places. I built a railroad, squandered my wages on a train back home. And I'm waiting for the credits to roll, I can lay down in my hole and gaze upon blue skies and cities of gold. Yes, I'm waiting for the angel of the last waltz to show. I'm a longshoreman or a poet. I'm a vagrant who sleeps in the toilet, or a lunatic loose at the pulpit on a Sunday. Got a pitchfork in the socket, got a Spanish doubloon in my pocket, got a rumble seat strapped to a rocket for the judgment day. I'm waiting for that trumpet to blow, I can lay down in my hole and gaze upon blue skies and cities of gold. Yes, I'm waiting for the angel of the last waltz to show. I might not be recalled fondly, and time might pile boulders freight trains might haunt me in my dreaming. My walking cane and my coattails, they will make up my mast and my mainsail. When the rain fills the gutters and the winds wail, I'll be returning. I'm waiting for that side to swing low, so I can lay down in my hole and gaze upon blue skies and cities of gold. Yes, I'm waiting for the angel of the last waltz to show, for the angel of the last waltz to show, for the angel of the last waltz to show, for the angel of the last waltz to show. That's a song called Angel of the Last Waltz from an album called Angel of the Last Waltz by a band called Vinegar Creek Constituency, folks. Our second album is the title track. We were so proud of that recording because we put a backwards gong at the beginning of it. Our bass player at the time, Charlie, engineered that album. And, we're old Beatles fans and fans of recording tricks and stuff like that. And we had that song kind of, Charlie mixed it so it came out of the sound of a backwards gong. It had a pedal steel guitar and everything. We were super proud of that at the time. Good crew in here tonight. Gwen, hi Gwen. Listening from work while taking care of the drug addicts and alcoholics. Well, that's wonderful work. Very important work. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Glad you're listening. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for being here. Hi, Marlissa. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Richard. Hey, Jamie Beth. Thank you. Hey, I saw that clip of Nora on the news the other night. That was super cool, huh? For her sing-alongs. It was cool to see. Hi, Candace. Hi, Michelle. Hi again, Mom. Arms around me. Let's don't get kicked around by gravity. I always put up such a fight, but I never get it right. And you're bound to wind up on the floor with me. Outside those February raindrops are falling. Night crawlers twisting in the street. They come up when rain comes down, just a drink until it drowns. Sometimes nighttime does the same old thing to me. Sometimes I fall out of bed when I'm dreaming. Forces of nature make such a fool of me. Oh, I might love you, I could fall, beat my head against your wall. Baby, I just can't stay on my feet. When I was a kid just out of high school, my mama said, don't you go fall in love, love, love. So when you gaze into her eyes, oh, it might not look so high. Oh, wait till you take that dive from up above. Sometimes I fall out of bed when I'm dreaming. Forces of nature make such a fool of me. Oh, I might love you, I right on my back where I was supposed to be. There was an angel hanging round, saying, buddy, just step down. Oh, you ain't built for verticality. Now my heart keeps knocking like a Bible salesman. My head keeps spinning like a fishing reel, reel, reel. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, gal, but I say it's paved with banana peel. Sometimes I fall out of bed when I'm dreaming. Forces of nature make such a fool to be. Oh, oh, I might love you, I could fall, beat my head against your wall. Baby, I just can't stay on my feet. Oh, I might love you, I could fall, beat my head against your wall. Baby, I just can't stay on my feet. Yeah. All right. Can't stay on my feet. I'm not on my feet at all. My feet are bare, and I'm sitting in a chair, which is pretty good by me for the time being. I hope you guys are all doing as well as can be. And how well is that, you might ask? How well is as well as can be? Well as can possibly be. Possibly. I hope you're all doing as well as can possibly be. I feel like that doesn't put any pressure on anybody, but it is the best possible wish I can muster. Hi, Melody. Good to see you. Hey, guys, I wanted to say this. I'm very proud today because the math reveals that in the past 3 weeks, our little Sunday Beatles brunch show has raised over $1,000 to feed hungry people in Lancaster County. And that fills me with great pride, and it should you too, because you guys are the ones sending in the money. I send in a little bit of money of my own too, I must admit. But yeah, we're going to keep at it. We're going to keep rolling. I'm feeling like we're a pretty sporty little grassroots fundraising machine here on the DiSanto Manor live show. Y'all have been generous with your donations, and I've been able to have the privilege of sending in some nice donations to Lancaster Food Hub, Chef Oliver's Pay It Forward Project, and the Anchorage Breakfast so far. This Sunday, there's going to be a bit of a Beetle brunch takeover. My buddy Carrie Shirley is celebrating her birthday this Sunday, and she asked if she could kind of jump in on the Beatles brunch, and I said, sure. You say it's your birthday? Happy birthday to you. So Carrie will be selecting this week's charity. It'll be a good one, and we'll all be singing happy birthday to her, too. So hopefully you guys can make that show. Now, moving on here. Hi, Leanne. Good to see you, too. Moving on here. Check this out, guys. So I haven't gotten very far on it, but during this quarantine time, I've started a project that has long been the absolute bane of my home life, which is that my garage here at DiSanto Manor is filled with literal landscapes of nonsense, just like old, everything that you can think of is in there, from tennis rackets and baseball bats to an old pump organ that doesn't really work anymore, to just piles of God knows what in there. And I've long been wanting to clear out some of that. And I actually started clearing out one end of it, one like 12-foot section at a time, because all my tools and lawn stuff is back there, and I've been doing a lot more work in the yard since I've been at home more. So I started cleaning this out, and I'm very proud that I finally got around to it. I want to show you guys here what I found. One of the things I found. It's interesting. This is, every now and again when Jeff and I are playing a gig, somebody in the audience will be there with a sketchbook and a pen or whatever, and they'll sketch us. And I think this sketch I found of me and Jeff here. Let's get this up here, Rhonda. Rhonda's my new assistant who doesn't really exist. She's a non-existent assistant. Rhonda, the non-existent assistant. Welcome to the show. Rhonda, pull that up. Okay, she already did. Sorry, Rhonda. Didn't mean to double bark an order at you there. So here's a sketch that was done of us, I believe, in Carborough, North Carolina late one night. We were down on tour, Jeff and I. We were playing a club, I think it was called The Station, not far from the birthplace and growing up place of the great Elizabeth Cotten, one of the great folk heroes of American folk music. Super influential. If you don't know who Elizabeth Cotten was, you've got some wonderful listening ahead of you. But you probably heard the song Freight Train Goes So Fast. Freight train moves so fast. That's Elizabeth Cotten. And Oh Babe, It Ain't No Lie. And Shake Sugaree, that one. Oh Lordy me, didn't I shake sugaree? Everything I got is done in pawn. Anyway, this is where we were, down near the home of Elizabeth Cotten in Carborough. There was a big sign out there that said this is where she lived. And somebody sketched me and Jeff. I want to bring your attention to a couple of things here. So Jeff's over here on the left, and that's supposed to be me on the right. You can tell because Jeff has a mandolin, and to me looks kind of like a Vulcan in this. I don't know if you guys can see that. He looks kind of like a Spock-like creature of some sort, possibly a little bit devilish, but the features are very chiseled, very hard. He looks to be in some sort of dark, mystical zone of some kind, conjuring something perhaps on that mandolin. And then that's I see that, Candace. That's awesome. It totally gives Jeff cleavage. I wish you guys could see the little pointer on my mouse, but I'm not going to do a screenshot thing because I'm afraid. If you look on the left, that's Jeff. The paper wrinkled in such a way to give him some bountiful looking cleavage, as Candace points out. There we go. Yeah, it's true. There you are. Welcome to the big screen, Candace. Oh, there you go. And that's me over there on the right. And you can see that's supposed to be my guitar that I'm holding, but what it really looks like to me is that he gave me a serious honky-tonk badonkadonk. Doesn't that look like a honky-tonk badonkadonk if you ever seen one? And the funny thing is that if you know me personally, you know that I do have a fairly pronounced rounded arse. It's true. I have a bubble buttocks. I always have since I was a kid. Got the bubble butt from my dad. So this guy, in drawing my guitar, also managed to create, I don't know what kind of position I'd have to be in for my butt to be there, but I don't think that's a guitar. I think that's a honky-tonk badonkadonk. But yeah, this must be from like 2000, maybe 14 or something like that, maybe 15, maybe 13, I don't know, sometime. But I remember distinctly this guy handing us this drawing after a show in Carborough, North Carolina. All right, that was a fun interlude. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right. Wanted to share that with you guys because it tickled me. Maybe I'll make weird things that I find in my garage a regular segment on this show. Cast your votes, yay or nay. Weird things I find in my garage on the show. I'll probably do it whether you say yay or nay. I'm going to play another waltz for you guys. This waltz is a squirrely little customer that I call Hey Aaron. Hey Dahlia. Here I am. I was hiding behind that picture of me and Jeff for a little while. It's nice. You know, if I need to pick my nose or something, I can just put up another image. Hey Dahlia, if you're watching, I'm going to bring you another Pennsylvania peach real soon. I promise. Days on a train, watching window scenes vanish, bound for a country where people speak Spanish and live their lives without fear, watching their own window scenes disappear. Do you live your life by the code of magicians? Never let on how your tricks elude vision. A suitcase of mirrors and smoke stood in the baggage compartment alone. as the tracks pull you farther from home. The train sets you down in a town by the ocean, looking for lodging, but nothing is open. It must be some holiday. Only the beer joints and the brothels are serving today. The streets wind along like the lines in a sonnet. You follow them till you collapse and you vomit, don't you? No nights like these will vanish like thieves with your memories, into the hills with your memories. Something turns back into nothing again. The padlocks hang open, no trace of the man. So real may it seem, when as in a dream, something becomes nothing again. Dragged from the stage by the manager's hook, fractured in mad leaps of faith that she took, still you smile. Well, isn't that life? Soon as your feet kick the air, the ground isn't there. Whipped by misfortune or pummeled by madness, beaten half senseless, left by the road, pantsless, the worm forgives the plow, just as the plow forgets the blood, when there's work to be done in the mud. Something turns back into nothing again. The padlocks hang open, no trace of the man. So real may it seem, when as in a dream, something becomes nothing again. Something becomes nothing again. Love often aimless and more often tragic. Something becomes nothing as though by magic. It rains, the rain goes away, leaving the night crawlers stranded and the clouds empty-handed. Life in the country meets life in the city. Death follows after panhandling for pity in shabby clothes in the lane, knowing something will be nothing again. What was nothing once becomes nothing again. It's the Disappearing Waltz, folks. That's from an album I came out with back in 2011 called The Moon, a Silver Dime. I'm getting tired of saying that's my only solo album. I just need to get the wherewithal to get one done. I think I want to really buckle down on recording a kind of a folk singer troubadour album while I'm in quarantine, because that's really about the only kind I'm qualified to record. I don't even have a real drum kit or a real drummer to play it handy. Once things loosen up a little bit, though, maybe I can get Nick to come do it, do some drum tracks on it. And put that album out, and then maybe hit the road for a while once I'm allowed to do that. I don't know. Just spitballing out loud here, folks. Don't mind being my sound and my brainstorming brain trust as you are. You know, I only tell time. I really only tell time by you guys anymore. Like, is it time to play for my friends yet? What day is it? And it's the way I keep track of days, because I'm doing shows Wednesday, take a day. Friday, take a day. Sunday, take 2 days. And it's only that rhythm, stop, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, stop, start. That's the only way I even know what day it is anymore, honestly. Because a lot of the rest of the time when I'm not practicing, I'm just wandering around in the hills with my dogs looking for fungus and looking for the fungus among us. And there is fungus among us, folks. Just found some today. All right. I'm trying to put off the slightly sad, no, the very sad, slightly somber tribute that I have to make tonight for a little while yet. Just play some goofy songs until then. I'll get to it. Backyard by a fire. I've been doing a lot of that this week too, Kim. Me and the dogs just hanging out. I got tired of staring at TV. I was doing a lot of TV binging, and then I got tired of looking at that, so I decided to just stare at the original hominid television, which was fire, and spent a lot of time. That's probably exactly where I'll be headed as soon as I'm done with this broadcast. I'll probably eat some dinner and head right back out in the yard and set something on fire. Something that's supposed to be on fire, probably. What else are y'all doing this week? Tell me about it. I want to hear about. Want to hear what you're getting up to. I might get some cool ideas from you, or a laugh, or some warm heart feels or something. Tell me what you're doing in the comments. If you don't, yeah, everybody else will be able to see it too. That's right. Tell us what you're doing in the comments. Here's a little song about the giddy, ecstatic thrills of a life of petty and possibly serious criminal activity. Do not try this at home, kids. Nice. Hi, Jessica. Herb planting. Awesome. My herb garden in the front of the house is doing good. My spinach is coming up, and my kale and chard are starting to poke through, too. Asparagus is up. This is called Our Burning Building. Turn me out of county with no jangle coin. Found you slinging hotcakes in a truck stop in Des Moines. Beautiful as you are, swinging that cast iron pan. We could talk this over, baby. I could be your man. That's my Studebaker in that lot down by the mall. Let your magic carpet take you any place at all. There's a filling station, won't spot us just a 5 or more. You know life ain't nothing but a burning building, and we're on the 32nd floor. Let's go dancing in our burning building, love. You're a dream I long to wander. Your eyes are stars up yonder. Yours forever, ever true, at least until the morning dew. So let's go dancing in our burning building, love. You're the Macy's parade, my heart beats rat-tat-tat-tat for that tattoo I woke up with in Calcutta in the war. May say I love another, but I swear that name is just my mother. Let's just stop a minute, baby, down by the Union Bank there, baby, and go dancing in our burning building, love. You're a dream I long to wander. Your eyes are stars up yonder. Just you hold the bag here, honey. The clerk owes my shotgun money. Let's go dancing in our burning building, love. We'll always have Saturdays at Ruby's, baby, Sundays at the shore. Staying home and making love on tables, chairs, and floors. Captive of your charms, dear, don't look so alarmed, dear. I'm kind of familiar with that kind of pounding at the door. So let's dance to the rhythm cop shoes on the step. So with good behavior, I'll be out in 20 years. Hope you get my letters, mainly yours almost forever. I can't make bail, I'm kinda strapped at the moment. How's your daddy's drugstore going? Let's go dancing in our burning building, love. You're a dream, I long to wander. Your eyes are stars up yonder. Young wayward boy forever, till the warden pulls that lever. Let's go dancing in our burning building. Let's go dancing in our burning building. Let's go dancing in our burning building, love. Our burning building. We were just talking about fires and stuff too. Let's see what y'all have been doing. Let's show everybody. Hey, Michael Grove, watching me for the first time. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. Glad to see you. Uh-oh. Looking for morels all week. Me too, Candace. Me too. Have you found any? I have. Angela Fisher says work. You're a nurse, aren't you, Angela? Thank you for being out there doing what you're doing. I know you're just doing your job, and you're probably getting sick of people thanking you for it. Maybe you like it when people thank you for it, but I'm going to add to the pile and thank you for your healthcare work that you're doing. Boomer is making soap, and he sent me some. Score. Soap is actually a kind of a hard to come by commodity for me these days. I run out of it a lot, and I spend a lot of time rolling around in the forest, so I need soap. That's awesome. I look forward to that. Jamie Beth is trying to teach herself to write a true crime memoir. Man, that sounds like it involves some pretty intense focus. That would be a heavy headspace to get in and out of, I would think. Thinking of trying to occupy the criminal mindset and such. Going to start nasal swabbing expectant moms for COVID. Wow. Well, thank you too, Kimberly, for the work that you're doing out there. For standing in between the people who are yelling and the people who are coughing. It's scary work, but, you know, these days it doesn't get any more critical, or ever, really. When are nurses not some of the most important people in our society? They always are. All right. That's what folks are doing this week. I'm putting some of the comments on the screen this time because I lose track of... First of all, when people watch it on YouTube, I'll look less insane and out of touch if it looks like I'm actually talking to people. And secondly, it's easier to see for everyone. Huh. Wow. I guess that would help, Jamie Beth. All right. I would like to perform for you a song from my latest release with my buddy Jeff Bryson. Vinegar Creek Constituency Duo is what we perform under. We're the mobile unit of the larger Vinegar Creek constituency. Missing all those guys big time these days. What I wouldn't give to get up on a good barroom stage and stomp the hell out of it with Mark and Pete and Mike and Jeff tonight, you know? But I've really been enjoying doing this more than I would have thought I could. I've probably said that in an earlier broadcast, but man, I'm having a good time with this. Take this show on the road once I'm allowed to. All the stuff that I'm doing this on could fit into a box in my van. So, I look forward to in the future bringing you shows from exotic locations. exotic to me. That is. Just so we're clear. This song started out being kind of an ode to depression that I wanted to make less depressing, so I turned the word anhedonia, which means the inability to feel joy, into a woman's name, Anadonia. And I thought it sounded kind of jazzy as a woman's name, really. I thought it sounded like a woman you might be interested to get to know. And so I started fleshing out her character in the song. But I feel like maybe it still comes across for being what it is. And sure enough, before the big sicky sick really hit, just as it was starting to, Jeff and I went up and did a TV show up near Philly, a little like an online YouTube TV show. And we I talked a little about the song like I'm doing now, the song Anadonia, and we played it. And one of the guys that was behind the cameras came up to me afterwards and he said, "Thank you for that song." He said, "I've been trying to explain to my coworkers exactly where I've been for the past 5 months, and you just did it." And it's hearing things like that. People have asked me before, what's the nicest compliment you've ever gotten? It's like, it's that, that the songs are reaching people and making, acting as communication between me and somebody else. So those are always the nicest compliments that I could get. That, and I like hearing that I have a nice ass. You can say that too, that works. Don't worry, Mary. I might go far, but I won't go too long. My family's around here, and I want to see my little nephew Julian grow up. I'm already missing too much, just being in quarantine. Greets the clouds of Sunday morning. The bells are ringing, oh clear de la lune. Silver jingles in the line and it rains all the time. If it ain't raining now, must be raining soon. In her heart she's searching for the words to tell me she no longer wants me like I want her to. I shake my head and smile, yeah, I've known that quite a while. I just thought I'd stick around till I was sure you knew I knew. But it's not the end, it's just a little darkness. A little darkness is only moonlight on the wane. This ain't love, it's something kinda like it. A little gray, a little rain. Anadonia was a child, she was an orphan, talking to the sad-eyed lady in the moon. Destiny distantly shine like the Pickway silver mine, so she stuck her thumb out on the road to ruin. Sometimes it's hard to know your hearts from your diamonds. Sometimes it's hard to know your heart at all. I've been dealt a losing hand and Anna called me, so I ran straight out of the frying pan and up against the wall. But it's not the end, just a little darkness. A little darkness is just like waiting to be born. This ain't love, it's something kinda like it. A little flash, a little storm. going. Never seemed to care what fate would bring. She's always trying to catch a thrill, wild enough to get her killed, which felt better than not feeling anything. The papers ask me where she's gone and I don't answer. Locked up somewhere, maybe in her grave. Running guns or running games, always running all the same. And it don't matter to or from, the wild bird dreads a cage, but it's not the end. Just a little darkness, a little darkness is just like waiting to be born. This ain't love, it's something kinda like it. A little rose, a little thorn. It's not the end, just a little darkness. A little darkness is only moonlight on wane. This ain't love, it's something kinda like it. A little gray, a little rain, a little gray, a little rain, a little gray, a little rain, a little gray, a little rain. Anadonia. There's an empty comment from you down there, Lolo. You wanted to say something? Because it didn't translate. Tuning, 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 tuning. Well, folks, I've got a tribute to pay, an homage, if you will. If you guys are from anywhere in central PA, chances are you know of our local public radio station, WXPN. I don't listen to much radio myself, but WXPN is a great resource for folks. It's a great place to discover new music and to hear some of what's going on locally. And one of the great legends there was a man named Shay, the host of the Folk Show. And he was hosting that show on one radio network or another from 1962 until 2015. Shay. He's known as the godfather of the folk DJs, and with good reason. The man had an incredibly distinguished career. For example, Gene and his wife were the first promoters to bring Bob Dylan to Philadelphia back in 1963, when Dylan was just starting to kind of break. The early Dylan days. They put on a show that Dylan played in Philadelphia. And he's hosted many legends on his show over the years. I read somewhere, and it seemed like a legitimate source, that Joni Mitchell performed the song "Both Sides Now" on Gene Shay's show for the first time ever. He was a co-founder of the famous Philadelphia Folk Festival, which my band Vinegar Creek Constituency and I had the privilege to play back in 2013. It was great. We were on the bill with Richard Thompson and Todd Rundgren and all these legends. Gene Shay died of COVID-19 a few days ago. I'm not sure exactly what day it was, but Gene he was in hospice care for quite a while, and now he's gone on. And I just wanted to say a few words about him because we were fortunate enough to be on Gene's show while he was still hosting it. Let's see here. Rhonda, can we pull up an image of this? There it is. This is an image of Vinegar Creek constituency with Gene Shay in 2000 and I'd say maybe 13, 12, maybe 12. I don't know. It's Pete DeVitri from left to right. Pete DeVitri, Jeff Bryson, Mark Rast, Gene Shay, myself with demon eyes, and Mike Vitale looking like he's about to flash on some demon eyes. And that is the World Cafe Live studio that we're in. We got to record in the World Cafe Live studio. They even gave me a recording of the performance afterwards that their great engineer mixed. I'm gonna now that this has happened, I'm inspired to go back through my tapes and find that, and I'll probably make it available in some form for Patreon subscribers or something. But the first time I met Gene Shay, Jeff and I had gone to the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference in upstate New York, big folk music industry conference, a bunch of performers, a bunch of professionals. And we were walking down the hall and talking with the late, great Robert Bobby, a legend in his own right from Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, the songwriter Robert Bobby. More on him some other time because he's well worth going into in the show. We were walking and talking with Robert Bobby and his wife, my friend Chris, a.k.a. Mrs. Bobby. And we spotted Gene Shay getting into an elevator. Now, Robert Bobby was one of kind of the first folks, older generation of musicians to kind of champion Vinegar Creek when we started playing. And he had sent one of our albums to Gene Shay. So he kind of pulled a quick move. We saw Gene Shay getting into an elevator, and Robert Bobby kind of ran over and grabbed him and stuck his foot in the elevator door and said, "Gene Shay, have you met Vinegar Creek constituency?" And we all got in the elevator together. And Robert Bobby introduced us, and Gene said, "Oh, Vinegar Creek constituency, I like you guys. I play you guys." And I said, "Yeah, thanks for that." And it ended up leading to a number of things, that introduction. I believe it had something to do with our eventually getting booked at the Philly Folk Festival, since Gene was, kind of the elder statesman of that whole thing. It landed us on his show. And, I'll never forget being at the end of the NERFA conference, the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference. Gene would host this big party in his room. Everybody from the conference would go. And I remember being in there with Oliver and Maya from the Stray Birds, fellow Lancastrian musicians. And, of course, I drank too much whiskey, as was my wont at the time. And I remember there were these foam pumpkins sitting around Gene's room, and I remember picking them all up and carving jack-o'-lantern faces into these foam pumpkins. I've always hoped Gene didn't get mad about that, but he probably didn't know who did it anyway. When Gene retired from the folk show, they threw a retirement party for him, a concert for him. I believe it was at the Ardmore Music Hall near Philly, and Vinegar Creek constituency was booked to play it. And it was a nice event, a lot of Philly area's finest bands and folk song society people were there, and Gene, of course. And I remember when they introduced Vinegar Creek constituency, the MC said, "One of Gene's favorite bands, Vinegar Creek constituency." Now, I don't really believe that Vinegar Creek was one of Gene's favorite bands. I mean, I don't have any reason to think that that was the case. But it sure did make me feel good to hear it said in front of an audience like that, and there in front of Gene at his retirement party. And it made me believe that maybe he at least liked us a little bit. And we had the privilege of playing for him on the event of his retirement. So I just wanted to take a minute and share some recollections of Gene Shay. Oh, I nearly forgot my favorite Gene Shay story of all time. At the same Folk Alliance conference event, Jeff Bryson, the Wolf mandolinist, and I, after we were introduced to Gene in the elevator, he took us to his room, which was a big suite, of course, in the hotel. He had a special room because he was Gene Shay, the godfather of folk DJs. So Gene took Jeff and I into his room and gave us a little tour around and showed us there were like a couple of, it was a suite of rooms. There were a couple of adjoining rooms, nice and big. And Jeff seemed really impressed. And I heard him at one point ask Gene, like as we were parting ways and shaking hands, "So what was it, Pete?" And Gene said, no, Gene. And I realized that this entire time, Bryson has had no idea who we were talking to, you know. Now, he knew who Gene Shay was because we'd always hoped that we were going to get to play a show. And, you know, he was a pretty well-known figure in the music world. And then he just put it all together all at once. He goes, oh, that was Gene Shay. I was wondering why he had that great big room. And Gene never treated us poorly for not having been recognized by Jeff. So, characteristically rambling, I know. I never script anything I'm going to say. That's probably obvious as all hell. I don't even have notes. I just kind of wing it. So I hope the memories got across as fondly as I remember them. And I'm going to do a tune that, I'm thinking of Dylan and Gene Shay's involvement in the folk scene in Philly way back then when Dylan was first hitting. I'm going to use a Dylan song to pay a tribute to a great figure in Pennsylvania music and in all folk music in general. His reach will, his influence will continue to be felt by generations of folk DJs and the various musicians that he gave a shot to when they were coming through town. And it was one of my favorite interviews I ever did because he just kind of rambled from this place to that, but there was a method to it. It wasn't the usual pot boiler that I've answered so many times about how the band formed or, what's next for the band and all this stuff. He just kind of started talking about music and we just kind of went, the conversation ambled here, there, maybe did a loop-de-loop over here and rambled back around to there. And it was just such a fun interview. I hope that when I find the tapes, I hope the actual conversation is on there too. I'm not sure. But if so, I will make that available to at least on Patreon if you're a subscriber. So anyway, here's a song for Gene. Dedicated to the memory of Gene Shay, R.I.P. Thanks for all you did for us. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others, and may others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars, climb on every rung, and may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung, and may you stay forever young. Forever young, forever young, may you stay forever young. R.I.P. Gene. Hi, Lois. No, I'm afraid I can't sing that song because I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. I don't know All Hallows. But that Dylan song will do for the memory of an old folk lover like Gene Shay. I like to think that he'd have dug that one. If y'all have any requests of songs that you know that I know, I'd be happy to give them a whirl. Put them up there in the comments. And until then, I'll just keep on keeping on with the stuff that pops into my head. Such as a song from the Halloween Tapes, our latest album. Circa January or February, depends on how you count it, 2020. Was that even 2020? I swear things were normal then. All right, we got a bunch of requests there. I will do those for y'all. Man, yeah, it doesn't seem like 2020 because Jeff and I were on tour back then, but it was the same year. It's unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, we came out with this album back in February, and then we went down to the Folk Alliance International Conference, which is like, I was talking about the Northeast Regional Conference in New York where we met Gene Shay. The Folk Alliance International is like the big mothership of the folk conferences. And that's happening these days down in New Orleans. I think they move it every few years. It was in Kansas City. Now it's in New Orleans. So Bryson and I toured down to New Orleans, playing gigs and selling copies of this album, though not nearly as many copies as I would have liked. But, you know, it's kind of tough to get a crowded gig in coastal Mississippi on a Monday night, for example. So if you sell any albums, you're doing pretty well there. But you guys can buy them at vinegarcreekconstituency.com/ you know what? I'm always doing this. Why don't I just make it be... Sorry, I'm typing with one finger. This might take a minute. I mean, I always type with one finger. There it is. That's where you can buy all of my albums for pay what you want. Hey, Jen. Hey, Marcus. Glad you guys are tuning in. Thank you. Anyway, yeah. I have all my album downloads set at pay what you want, which I think is a good way to do it. Music's not exactly a product, especially when it's being downloaded in non-finite quantities. And it's something that I want you to have. So whatever you're able to spare, that's a great idea, Leanne. Let me put that in. Let me take. All right. Anyway, you guys all saw the address there where my store is. I'm gonna get some cool stickers with this DiSanto Manor Live logo made up soon then too, that y'all can get. but I want to draw your attention to this comment here by Leanne. I was talking about Robert Bobby in that. Hi, Kristen. I was talking about Robert Bobby, a local songwriter, a brilliant songwriter. His name was Joe Milsom, and he passed away a couple of years ago now. We were actually supposed to be doing, it would have been this weekend, in fact, so this is a great time to pay tribute to him, too. I hope I remember the lyrics. This weekend, we were supposed to be doing a Robert Bobby tribute show that Joe's wife, Chris, put together with some help from me and a few other local music scene folks. It was a beautiful time last year, and unfortunately, of course, it got canceled because of the big sicky sick this year. So this does, in fact, seem like a pretty good time, and I'll probably do this again this weekend, and it might go a little bit better this weekend because it'll be a little bit more practiced. But as Leanne suggests, I'm going to do a Robert Bobby song now, and then I'll do some more of your requests. I'll get City of New Orleans in for you today, Lois. I know you asked for that during the Beatles show. I'll make sure I get it in today. This song, I had a bunch of Robert Bobby CDs. He had given them to me. He was a friend of mine. And I had them on my iPad. No, it wasn't an iPad. What were those things called back then? iPod. Proto-technology. Remember that? iPod. On my first solo tour in 2012, I had just gone through a breakup, and I was driving around doing a tour by myself after the Moon of Silver Dime album came out. I went all the way down to Texas and back, and New Orleans and all over the place down there in the South. And this song kept coming on. It's a breakup song that Robert Bobby wrote, and it really gutted me. It just is a beautiful song, and I'm hoping I can get it right for you and not screw it up too badly. It's called When Strangers Start to Cry. And if I if I mess it up, I'll try it again on Friday night. Who said breaking up was so hard to do? Well, it didn't know me, and it never met you. For us it was easy, so easy to quit. Well, it ain't breaking up that's so hard, it's living with it. So you sit at the bar, and you just can't forget. So you pour out your story to some strangers you met, and you know that they'll listen just as long as you bite. Don't know what you're missing, strangers start to cry. When strangers start to cry, you know they're feeling your pain. Every corner bar, you tell your story, it's the same. You look up and down the bar, you won't see one dry eye. A dozen beers get watered down, and strangers start to cry. Well, I should have known, but I wouldn't listen. 'Cause you don't miss the lips until you can't kiss them, and you don't miss the arms till they're waving goodbye, and you don't mind the tears so strangers start to cry. No, you don't mind the tears till strangers start to cry. That's When Strangers Start to Cry by Robert Bobby. I'll do that one again this weekend in honor of what would have been the Robert Bobby tribute show at Tellus 360, which we will do when we're able. And I promise I'll do a better job of it this weekend. I haven't played that song in a year since the last Robert Bobby tribute show. But yeah, Joe was the guy that introduced us to Gene Shay in the elevator that day, and he was very kind to me after he first heard my songs, and was just one of the better songwriters that I know of in this area. You can check him out. His music's out there. He's got websites, Robert Bobby, and YouTube. He's on Spotify and that stuff. Beautiful songs. Robert Bobby's band back in the late 70s and early 80s was called the West Philly Speed Boys, or just the Speed Boys. And they were the band that was rocking the dispensing company the year I was being born. I like to think about that. Get a kick out of it. All right, let's see what some of these requests were here. City of New Orleans, yep, we can do that. Fish and Whistle, Harvest Moon, yep, we can do that. We Haven't Yet, all right, I'll start with that. We Haven't Yet is a new song of mine. I'll be recording whenever I get around to it. Knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. So I was having a dream. Uh-oh. What do we got here? Look out. We got a really filthy golden doodle who spent a lot of time swimming in a creek earlier today. She's gone. All right. That was Luna. Luna's now trying to dig a nest in my carpet just beyond the camera. Hey, Luna, cut it out. Anyway, I was sleeping in the other room here because that's where I sleep. That's my bedroom. And I was having a dream about a girl, and it wasn't like a sex dream or anything. It was like a romantic kind of fairy tale-ish dream, if I remember correctly, maybe a ballroom dance of some sort. And I woke up not remembering any details about the girl from the dream, but what do we got? Ringo Cam's picking up there it is. Yeah, it's bound to happen sooner or later. Something tripped the Ringo Cam. Sorry about the interruption, folks. Sometimes the Ringo Cam just goes off in the middle of a story and you just got to roll with it. There you go. He's coming in. There he is. All right. Yeah, these guys got a lot of action on the trail today, or off the trail, as it were. Bushwhacking in the wild. That's Ringo. The Ringo Cam. All right. Where was I? Yeah, so I have a dream about this girl I'm dancing with, and I wake up and I don't remember any of the details about the girl, and I don't know that she really corresponded to anyone that has ever existed or that I've ever met or anything, but I felt this deep, profound sense of loss at having been separated from her by coming back into waking reality, waking consciousness. And I looked over, and in my bed with me, of course, is one of these guys here, one of these dogs, maybe both of them, maybe three of them, who knows, it depends on the day. And I kind of laughed at my predicament, dreaming about a girl, waking up with some dogs. And I thought, how interesting that we can, all the ingredients that we need to feel like we're in love with someone are already existing in our own minds, in our own brain chemistry. Because this was presumably maybe not even a real person who had tripped this emotion in me. But I woke up feeling like I just lost my best friend, like I just had my heart broken. And I thought, that's so fascinating. It's like that Walt Whitman quote. He says, I contradict myself, so I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. I thought, we really do contain multitudes, We contain not just the capacity to fall in love, but we even contain the characters that we can fall in love with. Anyway, this is kind of a long, rambling introduction to a love song that I wrote for a dream girl. And listen for a little jab at myself about sleeping with dogs, too, in here. must be a dream, and there's music playing in the hall, strange but familiar, like the songs you hear in dreams. Makes the dancers drift and spin the way that snowflakes fall. You and me hang by the sideline, planting flowers on the wall. I have no memory of your hair or what you wear, and I can't recall the color of your eyes, and I don't even know your name. Might come to me someday, should you find me awake inside of some other sunrise. You come on strong like a sad old song I'll never quite forget. Don't know how, but I feel it now. I don't believe we've met. We haven't yet. We haven't yet. He who lieth down with dogs rises up in dreams, as the constellations dance across the sky. I'm no dancer, but I might go along with you all night, till the birds outside my window sing my head back to my pillow. You come on strong like a sad old song I'll never quite forget. Don't know how, but I want you now. I don't believe we've met. We haven't yet. We haven't yet. We haven't yet. We haven't yet. In love I never did much right. Tore up most all of my nights, panic-stricken, howling at the moon. These days I sleep more than I did when I was a strung-out kid. So I'll probably dream you, darling. See you soon, darling, soon. You come on strong like a sad old song I'll never quite forget. Don't know how, but I want you now. I don't believe we've met. We haven't yet. We haven't yet. We haven't yet. It's called We Haven't Yet. Oh, thank you, Leanne. Yeah, the old pre-Chameleon Club days in the Lancaster music scene. I wasn't around for that, but I hear tales oftentimes. What do we got up here? Do I know that song that was in last year's tribute about his friend's girlfriend? Maybe she had red hair. Sorry, Jen, I don't know what song you're talking about there. I don't remember it. Maybe it wasn't one that I sang. I don't know. I don't know if Chris is watching. She could probably tell you, but Let's see. Let us see. We had a request for some John Prine for Jenny Lou. First Prine song I ever learned to play. Learned it on the road with Jeff one time down through the South. For a few years there, I think probably a good maybe 5 years, every January, because I always, like so many other people, I start getting depressed in January, February, once the doldrums of winter kind of start beating on you after New Year's. And we'd always just hop in the van and go down south on tour during that time, get some sunshine, snowbird it a little bit, musician style, camp out in all the beautiful state parks and national forests down there. And it was one of these years that we learned this song, this John Prine song, on the way down. I remember working it up at a friend's house in Asheville, North Carolina. And then we wanted to make a video of it. And one night we're sitting around the campfire in the great Okefenokee swamp of southern Georgia. And I said, it would be cool. I don't know where this idea came from. I think we were drinking wild turkey or something, so that might be where it came from. I don't know. I have plenty of weird ideas on my own still now that I don't drink whiskey anymore. I said, it'd be cool is if we find an alligator down here in the swamp and make a video with an alligator in it, and we're singing to the alligator, and all the folks back home will get to see us singing to an alligator. Wouldn't that be cool? And we both agreed that it was super cool idea. So the next day we went out and drove around until we found an alligator, which in the Okefenokee swamp of southern Georgia doesn't take more than about 10 minutes from my experience. We found an alligator in about 10 minutes, sitting out on an island with a moat of water around it, just lying there, just jaws open, eyes rolled back in its big old dinosaur head, just not even moving a little bit. Big American alligator. And Jeff said, "No, man, that's like a statue or something for the park. It's an advertisement for tourists or so. That's not an alligator. Look, it's not moving at all." And I said, "No, man, that's what they do. They just lie there with their mouths open, and when an unsuspecting stork or something like that comes flying by, flap, lands in the alligator's mouth, boom, down go the jaws, out comes the death roll into the water, and it breaks every bone in its body, and then it eats it at its leisure." And Jeff's like, "Nah, man, no way." And it was just about that time that a park ranger came by. This lady comes walking up to us, see what we're getting up to there with our instruments and such. And I said, "Ma'am, would you settle a disagreement between my buddy here and I? I say that's a real alligator. He says it's not a real alligator." And a very concerned look came over her countenance. And she said, "Boys, please understand, all of the alligators in the Okefenokee swamp, all of them, every one of them is real. Keep that in mind as you're going around doing your thing." So we went down near the water and set up and played this song with our backs to the alligator. And about halfway through the video, you can see the point where it occurred to us that there's an alligator separated from us by only a thin strip of water, which an alligator is much better suited to traverse quickly than we are. And we kind of both give a, "Oh shit, alligator." You can find that video. The video is up on the Vinegar Creek constituency Facebook page under the videos section. You can find. I'm getting there, Kimberly. I'm going to do City of New Orleans for Lois. I haven't forgotten. I tried. I aimed to please. I've been thinking lately about the people I meet. Car wash on the corner in the whole end of the street. The way my ankles hurt with shoes on my feet. I'm wondering if I'll ever see tomorrow. Father, forgive us for what we must do. You forgive us and we'll forgive you. Or we'll forgive each other till we both turn blue. Then we'll whistle and go fishing in a heaven. I was in the army, but I never dug a trench. Used to bust my knuckles on a monkey wrench. I'd go to town and drink, give the girls a pinch, but I don't think they ever even noticed me. Father, forgive us for what we must do. But you forgive us, and we'll forgive you. We'll forgive each other till we both turn blue. Then we'll whistle and go fishing in a heaven. Fish and a whistle, a whistle and a fish. Eat everything they put on your dish. And when we get through, make a big wish that we never have to do this again. Again, again. And my very first job I said thank you and please. Made me scrub a parking lot down on my knees. Then I got fired for being scared of bees, and they only paid me 50 cents an hour. Father, forgive us for what we must do. You forgive us, we'll forgive you. We'll forgive each other till we both turn blue. Then we'll whistle and go fishing in a heaven. Hey! Fish and a whistle and a fish. Eat everything they put on your dish. When we get through, make a big wish that we never have to do this again. Again, again. Oh, Father, forgive us for what we must do. You forgive us and we'll forgive you. We'll forgive each other till we both turn blue. Then we'll whistle and go fishing in a heaven. We'll whistle and go fishing in a heaven. We'll whistle and go fishing in a heaven. Bam. You know, usually when I do that song and tell that alligator story and the audience claps and cheers, I say, you guys were way cooler about that than that alligator was. But in this case, I don't even know because I can't hear anything. Oh, there we got a woo. Thank you. Turns out that alligators either love John Prine so much that they can't even move after you perform a song for them, or they are so disinterested in John Prine that they don't even move or won't even move after you play a song, because that alligator did not react at all. Not at all. All right, what else do we have? We had Harvest Moon, City of New Orleans, I'll Be Your Darkest Before the Dawn. Okay. Well, I just did a cover there, so I'll do an original here. And I'll do a cover there, and a this, here, that, there, everywhere, aware, where. This one comes with a tale. Shocker. There's a story. It's a tale about a friend of mine who shall remain nameless for the sake of good taste and everything remaining copacetic and groovy. Now, this friend of mine has a very distinguished and colorful romantic track record, a singular romantic track record. In fact, I've never heard of the like of it. Now, this buddy of mine, it turns out that every single one of his serious long-term ex-girlfriends wound up happily married to the next man they dated, which seems like either a superpower or a reverse superpower of some sort to me. But I told this buddy, I said, you should start a business. There's a lot of women would pay for that service. You know, everybody's all over the OkCupid and the Tinder and the Plenty of Fish and all that stuff, going out to bars, trying to meet their future husband, trying to catch him, trying to reel it in. And here you are just making future husbands or future wives, as it were, just by the mere fact of your having existed in this person's life. So why don't you print up a bunch of business cards, I said to this buddy of mine, that say, Darkest Before the Dawn, Inc. Let me be your darkest before the dawn. And you could sit at the bar or, open up a storefront or something and give out these business cards. You'd probably get lots of dates that way. And he hated the idea, and he told me to piss off, actually. But I don't always tell that part. But I still like it, and I liked it enough to make a song out of it, it turns out. So I wrote a song called I'll Be Your Darkest Before the Dawn for my buddy, whether he likes it or not. Lois, if you're talking about the Fish and Whistle video of the song I just played with the alligator, that would be on the Vinegar Creek Constituency Facebook band page. There's a little section that says videos. Just go to the Vinegar Creek Constituency Facebook band page. It's probably like facebook.com/Vinegar Creek Constituency or something, but all you got to do is search it out. All right. I'll Be Your Darkest Before the Dawn. when I'm gone, that hungry wolf will quit your door. The birds will sing, and your records won't skip anymore. Like the rain sends in rainbows when it's gone, builds a ladder for the sun to climb down and scatter flowers on your lawn. I'll be your darkest before the dawn. When I'm gone, that someone you've been dreaming of will come along with love to end all other loves, and he'll do all the things I couldn't if I tried. That's a service I provide, a rock bottom you can build your palace on. I'll be your darkest before the dawn. Let me be your darkest before the dawn. I'll be the writing on the wall you hang your magic mirror on. Anyway, your days will sure seem brighter when I'm gone. I'll be your darkest before the dawn. Liquor will stay on your shelf, and all those chores will almost seem to do themselves. Call me your lesson, your cautionary tale, your ship that had a sail full of pirates with dirty undies on. I'll be your darkest before the dawn. Let me be your darkest before the dawn. I'll be the writing on the wall you hang your magic mirror on. Anyway, your days will sure seem brighter when I'm gone. I'll be your darkest before the dawn. I'll be your darkest before the dawn. Yeah, that one's coming soon to a new album that'll be near you whenever it comes out, whenever I make it, whenever I get around to it, whenever I do it. Knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. It's probably the it is a different sentiment at that, Kimberly. Let's see here. All right, we got that for people looking for the it won't let me add the link. All right, that's all right. I can't add links. You learn something every day, or at least every other day, however often I do these things. All right. Lois Wenger Jordan has been politely waiting for me to do her request of City of New Orleans for a couple of days now, and I'm going to honor that request right now. A song written by Steve Goodman, perhaps popularized by Arlo Guthrie and Willie Nelson, I think, about a train. And I think I told this story one time when I played this song on the broadcast about how I used to ride the trains. That was my preferred method of travel, riding the Amtrak trains around North America, all over North America, in fact, as far north as the Hudson Bay in Arctic Canada, or subarctic Canada maybe, right below the Arctic Circle. That's how far up I took the trains. Those weren't Amtrak trains. They were the Canadian Via Rail trains. But I've ridden the trains to just about every corner of this continent, and including the train called the City of New Orleans. Guess where it goes? And it's that same train that Steve Goodman wrote this song about. It's about the train they call the City of New Orleans. Riding along the City of New Orleans, you're no essential Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 24 sacks of mail. All along southbound out of sea, the train rolls out of Kankakee, rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing towns that have no name, rail yards full of old black men, the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm a train they call the City of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Playing card games with the old man in the club car, for a penny a point and no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle, feel the wheels are rumbling neath the floor. And the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers ride their father's magic carpets made of steel. Mothers with their babes asleep, rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? I said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the City of New Orleans. I've been gone 500 miles when the day is done. Nighttime on the City of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling onto the sea. And all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream. And the steel rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings a song again. Passengers are pleased with freight. This train's got the disappearing railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you? city of New Orleans. I've been gone 500 miles when the day is done. That old city of New Orleans, a city I've come to really love. You know, back in February 2020, which I will refer to as February 2020 because it feels like a different year, and I just have to say it out loud to convince myself that that was actually the same year that I'm living in now. But Jeff and I, after the Folk Alliance conference, we stayed down there and hung with some friends. They had a yard we could pull the van right into in a quiet neighborhood in the 9th Ward of New Orleans. Fats Domino's old neighborhood, in fact. His house was right down the road. We made a video there. That's a video I'm pretty proud of if you want to look that one up. But we were staying in the van in these quiet neighborhoods of New Orleans. It's very different than what you would expect if you've only seen the French Quarter or something like that. It's a very peaceful place, and it's got so much soul kind of seeping out of every pore, of every brick, of every inch of street running through, that we just thought, man, we should get a place here. Kind of want to make a base in New Orleans. And as far as musical soul goes, there aren't too many places in the world that can even come close to New Orleans. You're very welcome, Lois. Thanks for being patient as I got that request keyed up for you there. I agree, Amanda. You can't go wrong with anything New Orleans. You got to be careful, though. No, Kimberly, I have not watched Treme. I assume that's a show. I've got a long list of shows to watch now. Well, folks, it's that part of the broadcast where I must say a word or two just to see that my basic needs are met. And by this I mean feeding myself and my dogs and paying my bills and my property taxes here at DiSanto Manor. And that's what these links down here are for, folks. That's my Venmo address and my PayPal link. So if you'd like to throw me a few bucks, whatever you can afford for the entertainment, I am a full-time professional entertainer, and these days I do all my entertaining right here in front of this camera on the internet. So this has been my job, and you guys have been so generous and supportive so far that I'm not even worried about it. I've been doing just fine, paying my bills. I haven't even applied for any of that unemployment because folks are saying it's taking a really long time to get it, and it's already a great burden on the system, all these people applying. I figure as long as I can pay my bills and feed myself and my dogs, I'll just leave it to the rest. So thank you guys for enabling me to continue to make a living doing this show. I'm really enjoying doing it for you. I'm doing my best to put on a quality show for you with good picture and audio quality and practicing learning new material for it, taking requests and stuff. So if you're able, if you're struggling, don't worry about it at all, please. But if you're able to throw me a little something for the entertainment by one of these means, that's great. I know some people have been mailing me checks because they don't prefer to use the online methods, and that's totally fine too. If you want to do that, private message me and I'll let you know where you can send it. And again, I want to stress that if you're not able to throw any money my way, no hard feelings at all. Please keep coming and watching the show anyway. Pay what you want, what you can, when you can. All right, so that's that. In the streets there are no cars, there is no light. In the forest, owls are waking up the night. In the houses, in the bedrooms, out of sight, people are dreaming. Do they sleep because there's nothing else to do? Do they dream because in dreams they're born anew? To discover when they wake they'll have become one of the good ones. I don't expect a lot, I ask too much, and I lean upon my anger like a crutch. Even though I realize it's such a sad way to go. Outside the rain falls and the churches ring their bells, believing most of us will die and go to hell. If God's good, you know I'm sure that he can tell one of the good ones. Contraptions of skin over bone were not made to be good, exploding or sinking like stone. Darling, if I could, I would call back the reckless words I let fly. I see written on the teardrops in your eyes. I hope that you can see how hard I try. I will try again. Maybe it's good enough to know we can be free from the rusted chains of time and misery. I'll do everything that I can do to be one of the good ones. Contraptions of skin over bone were not made to be good, exploding or sinking like stones. Darling, if I could, I would keep you with me here tonight under the stars. But instead you'll catch a plane, you'll call a car. I'll always tell everyone I know that you are one of the good ones. That was a song called One of the Good Ones from my album The Moon, a Silver Dime. I'm going to flash that web address one more time for you here. This is where you can buy all my albums. Buy my stuff! All the money goes to me when it comes through here. Nobody takes a cut. It's not like one of those services that take a cut. It all goes to me. The Moon, a Silver Dime solo albums available there, as well as all 5 Vinegar Creek constituency releases for the price of pay what you want. Pay what you want, pay what you can. That's how everything I do these days is. Pay what you want, pay what you can. Speaking of which, I lost one of my... No, there it is. All right. Speaking of which, let's talk about Patreon for a second here. a lot of musicians who made Patreon pages a couple of years ago or so and have been trying to build them up are really glad they did right about now, including myself. Patreon is a platform for reoccurring support of musicians, and not just musicians, creative types of all sorts. Photographers are on there, video artists, writers, just about podcasters. I support several other creators on Patreon myself, at least 3 or 4 right now at any given time. And the way it works is, for me, it's by creation. So you pledge a certain amount. Let's say it's $1. Let's say you don't want to spend more than $5 a month on me. You think I'm a $5 a month type of deal. You pledge $1. You set your cap at $5. When I publish a new video or song or demo or something that I made, a poem, a short story, a travel log, one of the things that I do, one of the various things that my brain spits out during the course of my existence on this beautiful rock called Earth, then I get paid a little bit from each of my patrons. When you hit your cap of however much, your $5 for the month, it stops charging you no matter what I do. I could sit there posting stuff all day and you won't pay another dime. It's like a cool little club that you never knew that you wanted to be a member of and might not want to be a member of now either, but you can be if you want to. You'll get to be a patron of the arts, which is a cool and jazzy thing to get to be, if you ask me. And it's a good way if you want to support me in a kind of steady way. I've got a lot more broadcasts coming up, obviously. I've got some new recordings and videos I'll be making. And as soon as safety will allow it to be so and the travel bans and stuff are lifted, I'm going to hit the road and bring you some travel content too. So check that page out and see what it's all about. You'll get access to everything I ever make, really, if you're a patron at any level. So thanks for listening to my shtick there. I gotta let people know how they can support me. Otherwise, my dogs wouldn't be eating eggs for dinner like they did tonight. Let's see here. Cornhuskers ball, okay, but I'm still in drop D. So I'm gonna circle back on low vac, circle back on low vac, circle back on low vac, and her request of Neil Young's Harvest Moon. Just got a few more for you. It's about dinner time for me. Come a little bit closer, hear what I have to say. Just like children sleeping, we could dream this night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing, let's go out and meet the night. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you, on this harvest moon. I don't know if you can hear the dogs going nuts out there. were strangers, I watched you from afar. When we were lovers, I loved you with all my heart. But now it's getting late, and the moon is riding high. I wanna celebrate, see it shining in your eyes. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you, on this harvest moon. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you, on this harvest moon. Ringo Cam. Hey, Ringo. Hey, Ringo. Oh, sorry, you were all comfy. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Here he comes. Log out. Well, folks, we're about to sign off in a minute here. I'm gonna do the Cornhuskers Ball for Mary, and then if I can get my lap back for a minute here, folks. While I'm indulging my buddy Ringo here, I would like to ask of you. Where is that thing? I'm starting to get too many overlays and I'm starting to lose track. There it is. There's my YouTube channel, folks. It's where these videos end up after the show. Facebook can be kind of hard to keep track of the videos. It files them under a video section, but people tell me sometimes they can't find it. On YouTube, they'll all be right there with the dates that they were aired originally. And when eventually after the pandemic, after the shutdown, when this show turns into a webcast of sorts with guests and everything, that's where we'll be doing it. So could you screenshot this, or, tell your husband to go and get on his phone and subscribe, both of you, or something like that. Say, Roy, that's your husband. Roy's your husband. Say, Roy, go subscribe to this YouTube page, this nice, young, handsome, talented young man. Go subscribe to his YouTube page and send him some money too, Roy, while you're at it. Lord knows you ain't done anything for anybody lately, Roy. Sorry if any of you are actually named Roy and you're catching all kinds of shit on account of it right now. But what I'm really getting at is I'd be awfully pleased and grateful if you would if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel, it would help me out towards monetization. I need 1,000 subscribers. As of this morning, I was at 225. That's a long way. And I can't figure it out because I've got 1,600 Facebook followers. And I keep saying, please subscribe. The algorithms must not be letting everybody see it because I know they'd do this free, simple thing for me if they could see it, if they could only see. So guys, if you would be so kind, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. I promise to put good content on there to reward you for the minute that will take to make that little click. All right, I'm going to do one more song, and I'm going to go eat dinner. What do we got here? No, don't do it. Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm really hungry. What do we got? Trying to learn Chinese and listen to the song at the same time, says Lolo Vac. That's worth screen grabbing. Learning Chinese. Learning Chinese. I think I'm learning Chinese. Oh, yes, I think so. That's how that song goes, right? All right. You can tell it's time for me to sign off, folks. I'm getting weirder than I even usually am, I think. Lack of nutrients. So I'm going to do a Cornhuskers Ball request from Mary and then Ski Daddle. If you'd like to throw me some support for the podcast, please do. If not, all good. And Friday night at 8 p.m. I'll be back. And there's an event on Facebook for this. If you guys would share that, that'd be awesome. The more people we can get to watch this, the more fun we can all have. But I have a great time playing for you folks, and thanks so much for interacting and commenting and mixing it up with me on here. It makes it a lot of fun rather than just playing to a screen. When I know there are people out there with their unique senses of humor and their various activities and foibles. Here's a song about heartbreak and corn. Made in Lancaster County. We were born in a little town with good farmland interspersed, and the river that ran beside was the end of the universe, and no one ever traveled anywhere but up the hill in a hearse. Still there were good times for all at the Cornhuskers Ball every harvest. I grew next to your parents' house, and you lighted my lonely world. But we loved too impatiently and broke down like a tilt-a-whirl. And I spent some nights foolishly asleep in the mangled machinery, finally hitting the wall, and the Cornhuskers Ball couldn't cheer me. I'll go travel the Orient, I'll poison a foreign czar, I become a fat millionaire with a fat millionaire cigar. I'll open a sideshow for the freakish and hopeless and too bizarre. Move it into a stall at the Cornhuskers Ball, breathing at the stars. Saw your sister last Saturday, and she told me that you had gone. Dragged your uncle's old Model A up the road to Saskatchewan. So does that mean you're gone away for good? Wouldn't matter much, so am I. I'd meet you next fall at the Cornhuskers Ball just to tell you goodbye. I would meet you next fall at the Cornhuskers Ball just to tell you goodbye. I'll meet you all next fall at the Cornhuskers Ball, if the Cornhuskers Ball is open next fall. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Been a pleasure. Always is. We'll see you soon. Friday night at 8 p.m. Be here, wherever here is for you. Here is here for me. See you here.